and I'm going to be interviewing Chance Bender. Alright.
All right.
So, the timeline of 2017.
Pretty much. Fun year.
Alright, so tell me about the Pinnacle Pain 6.
That whole thing was a cluster mess to kind of begin with, really. It was a cancer benefit show that was supposed to involve, music outdoors, us wrestling inside the bar. It was supposed, we had food, we had people come out drinking, and the problem was the guy who organized this, it was his first time really organizing something like that. And you could tell there were so many band lineup changes, the name of the festival changed, the name of the, I don't know, there were some other changes in there. So here's what happened when we got there. When we got there, there was a giant patio tarp. There was a tarped off patio. And we're like, okay, where do we set up? You guys gonna set up there? They pointed to the grass. We're like, the whole reason we booked this show was because we thought we were going to be wrestling indoors. And they're like, oh yeah, we have dartboards inside. A lot of people play with the dartboards, and we got bumped outside for dartboards. And we were just about ready to pull the plug on the show, because the only reason that we didn't was because Marco's parents were already there and they had set up their food truck. So we're like, you know what? They're already here. They're set up. And it took a little bit of convincing, but we finally got moved to the patio. We were able to set up the ring in the patio area. I actually brought those two guys in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've known Helmsley since high school and some other guys on the roster. And I remember just putting out the video one day, and he was like, hey, that looks awesome. I told him, all right, come out. And like we set up the ring one day and we were just practicing. And we just said, hey, I told him like, hey man, come on out. He's like, yeah, I got my buddy Corey with me. I'm like, all right, bring him too. And, we did they came out to the practice, and then, because they had done stuff before, like backyard trampoline stuff. So, they had a really great, they had such great simpatico in the ring together. So, which is why, we put them in the opening match. Oh man, I wish I could really splice in like video of all this stuff, because so Magnificent's like the biggest trash talker we've had, and sure enough, Marcos comes out, he does the the thing, he takes off his his t-shirt, and he's got the undershirt off, and he's got the undershirt on, and Magnificent's just laughing at him. It's like, oh, he's fat, you're a donut eating cop, whatever, and Marcos was about to like legitimately get mad, like, man, keep making fun of me again. He was gonna go, like, I didn't know this till after the match, but he didn't get like legit mad, but he got kind of made, he was a little tired of the whole, donut cop eating thing, and he was gonna go grab a bag from, like, he was gonna have to grab like a random bag. He was gonna run around the ring, just trying to be magnificent, be like, hey, I got these cheeseburgers. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie, and if not, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, you're just gonna have to research it. And that guitar player, oh boy. This guy thought he was gonna play while we were wrestling, and he was cool about it. Like, we told him, like, no. We gave him a set before we even started performing. And then we told him, okay, later on, you'll get to perform again, because there were so many band lineup changes, some people flaked out. So we told him, or at least I guess I'll call him the event organizer. I'm not going to name names here. But he told him, like, okay, you could perform before 2 o'clock. They're going to go out and wrestle. They'll do their show. When they're done, you can perform again. And this guy got kind of agitated because so far we're, let's see, I think close to over 30 minutes in. And he's letting us use his microphone, which is awesome. And sure enough, if you look out on camera, Magnificent Marcos go to the backstage area, and this guy who starts hooking up his thing, and soon as they leave, as soon as they go back, all right, guys, I got another couple songs for you, and you could see the crowd that's there. Like, there's not a whole lot of people in the chairs, but they're all crowding around in the back. You can see it on camera. And what happens, he goes up, he starts playing, and the crowd is like, whatever. And they leave.
Oh, wow. Okay. Your match with Goodyears.
That was actually really fun. That's actually the first dog collar match we ever did. Originally, it was supposed to be, the idea was pitched, we would do a strap match. And he brought up the idea, hey, let's do a dog collar match. I'm like, okay, that's really fun. And we watched the Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine match. We watched the Chris Jericho, Perry Saturn dog collar match. We watched it was an old John Moxley match. I forgot who his opponent was. And, when we did that, we didn't know what kind of dog collars to get because we didn't want to spend any money on just random dog collars. So we just went to the dollar store and just got some random ones. And he actually had the chain, which hurts. And I will say, I would really like somebody to get into the ring and try a dog collar match because it is a very, very, it's very limiting to what you can do. As I couldn't do like a top rope. I couldn't do I was originally going to do the flip over like a sunset leg drop or something, but I couldn't because I had the chain on. And there's actually a funny fun fact. I'm pretty sure you can notice it on camera. My dog, I take a modified flatliner and my collar just breaks and falls off, and it's like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to put this on. And then, thankfully, that was the end of the match. So, it didn't, look very bad on camera. That was pretty fun because it was like King Kong versus Godzilla, and they were going at it. And I remember when they were practicing during the while we were setting up, they were hitting the ropes and the ring's actually kind of shifting. But and what happened was we were afraid the cables under the ring would snap again. Well, not snap, but they would come undone and come loose because that happened earlier a couple months ago. We were doing a tag match, and sure enough, I think somebody hit the ropes. And because Behemoth and Monster were in the ring earlier, somebody hit the ropes, and you can just hear something come undone, almost like a snap. And the ropes just come all loose, and whoever hit the ropes, and he almost lost his balance. And we're like, oh, okay, great. Now we have to figure out how to mess with that.
Training day, something happened to the monster.
Okay, what happened was, it was an endurance match. It was just basically random people going in, working 5 minutes with each other, random people. What happened with him was, Helmsley goes up to the top and he does his whisper in the wind. Problem was, Monster braced himself for impact, and you could see it on the video. I might be able to splice it in there. But he braces himself for impact, so he kind of moves, adjusts himself, and because he wanted to catch him good because he didn't want him taking a blind bump. And so he kind of catches him, sort of, and he goes down, and because he braced himself, he moved his foot, it kind of just stayed planted, and you could see it bend, and it's,
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, he was out for 3 months, right?
3 months, yeah. That was supposed to happen at Acadia, and it never did because we got rained out that day. We were supposed to. The way War of Attrition works is that there's random matches with random people, and then there's the 5-on-5 elimination match. Thing is, you don't know who you're facing in the undercard, and you may just be facing your tag team partner or your team members in the undercard. So you don't want to beat the hell out of somebody just to win a hardcore match, only to find out, hey, this person's your teammate later on. And so we ended up filming like a training day video montage of us all, like, working out in the gym, going over a few drills wherever we can. And I think we ended up eating Chinese food later that day, which, and I think by the time we left, it was the time we were supposed to start the show, and it's drizzling, it's all kind of rainy, dark. We're like, yeah, it's probably a good thing we didn't do it. Spring Broken was I forgot who came up with that name, but the apartment complex that we did it at was holding like a barbecue in the pool area, and they let us hold a show on the other side of it. So, we got kids coming out watching us. We got, people from around the complex looking at us, and, it was a really fun thing. And the title was something that had been in the works for a really long time, and we finally got it out. And that's how we even started the show, was he introduces the title, goes over, shows everybody the nameplate and all that.
Alright, so tell me about some of the matches that happened. I noticed that the title was actually the first match.
The title match was actually there was no title match in that. There was no title match. The first match was a tag match that we haven't done in a really long time. And it was, they called themselves Team Reckless and only teamed up for one match. And then there was the triple threat, which turned out not to be a title match. I don't know why, it just wasn't. And I think that's the only time me and Brody Riggs ever got along in the ring, because we gave Behemoth the overhead vertical suplex. Lifting a 550-pound man is not easy, especially doing it overhead. And it's funny. Soon, it's like a triple twitch. If you look at the video again, it's bang, we hit him, twitch, and then I kind of just switch over just to go over and cover him, because I thought we dropped him on his head. Because it's like, I kind of asked him, like, dude, are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay.
2017. What about the Carpocalypse?
Carpocalypse, they actually got rained out the same day War of Attrition was supposed to happen. And we got word that they were moving it to a different location. They were moving it to I think Kingwood Asylum was they were going to have it anyway. But they were moving it to a different location, I think. And then that's when we got the word that, hey, we want you guys to do something. Because one of our roster members became a member of their board of committees. So she pitched the idea, and she said, okay, let's have you guys do something. And that's how that happened. And that actually happened the day, right before we left, or was it? I can't remember if it was before or after we ate. But that's when we found out, hey, you guys are going to go out, you guys are going to perform. We're like, nice. So that's that.
Awesome. Now tell me about what's a lumberjack match?
Lumberjack match is you have your competitors in the ring, and you have other members of the roster outside of the ring. Anybody goes out of the ring, you pummel them, take the action back in the ring. It's more to sort of like it's like a cage match on a budget, And it's funny because we all end up going in the ring and beating the hell out of everybody. Match was thrown out, no contest, and they said, hey, all right, fine, I'll put the title up against all you chumps, and it's going to be an over-the-top rope battle royal. And I didn't win, so I don't want to talk about it.
Alright. Okay, the Sunday special.
Sunday special was something we did at IWF headquarters because we were going to go to Austin, and let's see, I think 2 months we were going to go to Austin, and we had to really brush up on a few things, you know, ring-wise, psychology. We wanted to do that, so we just said, hey, let's just put on a show and record it, which is what we did. Yeah, he returned that day, and it was funny because the video, the event starts with us cutting a few promos, and sure enough, he interrupts mine, and he's like, hey, I don't got a match tonight. And I told him, you know what, I don't either, you're on. And that's how that came to be. Yeah. The Austin show was great. That was actually in the works since January, and we were all kind of just wondering, okay, how is this going to work? And you know, because normally, you know, we had to make arrangements because there was no way we were going to do the show, drive back, you know, around like close to 2, 3 in the morning, midnight, and yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. So we all had to stay in Austin, find a place to stay in Austin.
Alright, and it turns out that Brody Viggs had an injury?
Yeah, he actually messed up his leg during a practice that was done a week or two earlier. I wasn't there, but the story goes that I think somebody went up to give him a suplex, like, okay, see if you can go overhead for a suplex, we'll catch you. And I don't think whoever was giving it to him couldn't quite get him up all the way, and then so he put him down. And when he went down, he hit hit something because the grass is so uneven at that where we were practicing, and he just tweaked his knee and it popped. Now, when we were going over spots beforehand, before the show started, you know, it was just a light run through, and sure enough, he whips me into the corner, and he just goes down, and he's just clenching his knee, and he's like, he's in pain. We're like, dude, what happened? He's like, man, it's the knee, I can't do anything. And it took him a while to sit up and get through, and that turned the tag match into a triple threat. What happened is the idea was we would go out, wrestle a match, because we had the ring set up in front of the stage, and then the stage, the bands would be performing, and it was going to be like, think of it like a music video. You got hard rock playing, and you got guys in the ring going at each other. And because the lighting was kind of bad, because the stage lights weren't on us, they were on the stage. And, you got loud music blaring, the sound was off. I mean, it wasn't off, but sound was overbearing and the lighting was pretty bad. So we ended up not filming it. And, it sucked because there was a lot of fun in those matches. And I'm trying to think of something else. Oh man, there was something else. I guess not. I guess that's... Oh well, I should have mentioned the Nacho Libre spot, but oh well. I guess that's just not going to be on camera. Hellbound. That was a very much a different format. That was how we wanted the Austin show to be. It's you got us wrestling, there's a match, band performance. Wrestling match, band performance. And it came out a lot better than we thought it would have, because we had an actual light. Yeah, I think we had like one light on us, a couple of storm lights, and we got the crowd interested.
Alright, so tell me about some of the matches that happened there.
All right. What's the first match?
Marcos Perez, Donnie Knight, and you in a triple threat match.
Okay. This was actually the whole Hellbound show was a repeat of Austin, because we did everything there in Austin, so we figured, hey, let's try to do the same thing but polish it up. And because it polished up, the matches just came out a lot better.
Next one is El Kinsley and Casey.
Yeah, that was another one where those two just really hated each other, and I'm pretty sure they still do. And they just went out and that's the. I'm trying to think. No, okay, never mind. That wasn't the match. I think that happened in Austin where he jumped and hit his head. But yeah, they tore each other apart.
Okay, Beaumonster and Behemoths for the heavyweight title.
That was another. We wanted to showcase, the whole King Kong versus Godzilla thing again. So we did that, and the crowd really got into it because they see smaller guys earlier in the show, and then finally you got two big giants, and it's like, okay, you can see the crowd really get into it.
Okay, now this time something happened to Behemoth. He had an injury.
That actually happened before Hellbound even started. So he parks his truck, and he steps out, and he's getting ready to walk inside. However, there's like a giant pothole where he parked, and he slips on it. Scrapes up. He falls on it, does whatever, and he's kind of limping around. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good to go." And it wasn't until a week later we found out that it's like, "Yeah, I broke 2 bones in my foot. I'm gonna be out for a bit." And he wrestled the whole match with those 2 broken bones in his foot.
So Moon Knight Massacre, the press conference.
Yeah, what happened was there's how Golden Corral kind of has like that kind of room off to the side where you can it's like a private dining area, whatever. Now we actually asked if we could have that room like a week ago, like a week before this, and the manager was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Just what time were you guys wanting it?" Like, we want it like at 6, 7. Okay. So 6 to 7 o'clock rolls around. We get there, and there's people in it. People, the public's using it, and they're like, "Hey, I thought we were going to be able to use it," and they told us, "Yeah, it's the manager who agreed to that isn't here, and I didn't know that." We're like, "Okay, fine, whatever." So we ended up doing it outside, and that parking lot is pretty big, so we did it away from the front doors, away from any cars. And looking at it from a distance, I guess it kind of looks bad because you got a whole line of people in IWF shirts, and you got people just trash talking. It kind of looked like a fight club because people did get in each other's faces. There was some pushing, there was some shoving, and sure enough, we put it on Facebook Live, and then when the video ended, we're talking amongst ourselves, and then that's when the 3 squad cars come in the parking lot. And we're like, okay, who did that? And we definitely know it wasn't any of the staff at Golden Corral, because they were kind of looking at us, and somebody went over there, like to kind of explain, it's like, oh no, we're an organization, we're doing this, we're doing that. They're like, oh, okay, and they didn't care. I guess we spooked out somebody in the parking lot who ended up calling the cops.
Alright, so Moonlight Massacre, Creepy Hollow.
That was a really interesting show because we set up the ring where, where the ticket booth is, to, the admission booth. So that's pretty much our biggest crowd that we've ever had. And they were really excited to kind of have us there because the show was supposed to be a paid gig, I think. And it ended up being a canned food drive for hurricane relief. So, okay, we'll do that. A couple of us brought some things. We plugged the hell out of it. It's like, we plugged the hell out of the show, the can drive, and the haunted house because it was in season. So everybody really benefited from that.
Alright, now tell me some of the matches that went over with that. Marco Perez, Donnie Knight, the Congress Matrix, and Dante Inferno.
Okay. I'm trying to remember that one.
In a fatal 4-way elimination match.
I'm trying to remember that one. Now, give me a second to remember that one. Yeah, that was I really wanted to do, I know me and several others, because it was Halloween, we wanted to have a Halloween themed show. But because we're barely growing, our following's kind of growing, we really couldn't do a full-fledged Halloween show. So we're like, okay, we'll just throw a couple Halloween gimmicks in there. And one of them was the Deadly Candy match. I don't know where the name came from, but there was supposed to be a moment where the commentary team is just goes silent. And everybody's like, hey, what's going on? And you just see them eating bags of Halloween candy. And it sucked that the camera messed up, I think, somewhere, and it didn't get put on camera. And it would have been really fun and entertaining.
Once again, Casey and Eric Hemsley going at it.
All right. It was a really fun feud to watch. I mean, and then this time they got hardcore with it, and it was good that it ended for some people because people hated following some of their matches because they had been doing that thing for so long. They got that synchronization. So imagine trying to follow something like that. Especially when there's trash cans, a sledgehammer, trash can lids, skeleton toy bones or something. And there's actually a spot in there where Casey grabs a trash can and he just throws it over to the side, gets it out of his way. He almost hits a little kid. And it hits him on the leg or something. And he's like, oh, hey man, you all right? All right, good. And he actually got a fan that day. And we actually, I'm not too sure what happened to that trash can. I think we gave him something. It's a little memento to take home. And I don't remember what they gave him, but I mean, that was something.
The match with Real Monster.
Those, if you watch the promos that we did on each other leading up to this, those are I think that's one of my best promo work because I got really creative with it. And the Lumberjacks were some of the guys for Creepy Hollow, and we try to incorporate them into the match itself. So like there's like one where I kick him out, I kick Bowmonster out of the ring, and the lumberjacks kind of wail on him, and then there's one where he like punches my stomach or something, knocks the wind out of me, and I'm like, okay, throw me out the ring real fast, and so he throws me out the ring, and I see Relic with an icy, and I'm like, dude, give me some of that icy, and I grab it from his hand, and it's like water. I'm like, oh man, it's water. I don't want it. I kind of do want it, but I don't. He's like, oh, okay, I'll just give you some. Throws it right in my face. And I think somewhere later in the match, Willie Vodka's got his vodka, bottle, and I think he spits it at the Bowmonster. And so, I mean, a lot of people in attendance really, really got into it. And so Behemoth comes in after the match and starts wailing on all the Creepy Hollow guys. And then, everybody just pretty much gangs up on him. And he's like, hey, seeing as I don't want to stay in hell, it will basically, the gimmick was, you're going to stay in Creepy Hollow overnight, and you're going to be tortured. And I'm like, you know what? Behemoth can take my place. And they drag him out. And as he's dragged out, I don't know how well it picked up on camera, but I go up and I do the whole WWF gimmick where, everybody sings na 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 na, and I actually got some of the crowd to kind of go along with it, and that's how the show ended, which is pretty funny.
Okay.
Okay. Royal Wreckage was another different one. We actually had waltzers to ourselves for that. And, no bands, nothing. It was just us. And just like the year before it turned out to be another toy drive for underprivileged kids. And we partnered up with a different organization other than, I think it was the Pelchins the year before that. And then for Wreckage 9, it was A World for Children.
So, tell me about some of the matches that happened there. Johnny Knight versus Marco Perez.
That actually was hold on, wait, no. That was something different. This match was Brody Riggs teams up with the Officer because he'd been trying to get Donnie Knight to, be like, hey, let me be your manager. Donnie Knight just kept brushing him off. And then this was the match where they did the swerve, where it's like, hey, he comes out with him, and then, he's about to win the match, here's the chair, boom, I hit you, I'll sit you instead. Yeah. That's how that ended. That, I really couldn't quite see that match because I was having some, I forgot why, I think I was going over my match with Behemoth, and I really didn't quite see a whole lot of it. But what was the finish?
The finish match?
No, the finish. What was the end result of that match?
Casey ends up defeating him.
Okay, he defeated him. Yeah, I really don't remember that much of the match. I was backstage for the most part.
Behemoth with Dr. Dark and an unnamed Creepy Hollow resident defeated you after 4 minutes.
Yeah, those hurt a lot, and I think that's the record right now, taking the most oblivions in a match. But other than that, it was a David versus Goliath type thing, and thankfully, the other two guys didn't do anything because I think we tried. No, hold on, that wasn't it. There was. No, that was later on in the night. Never mind. That was something different. But yeah, I have the record for the most oblivions in a match.
Marcus Perez New Warrior Wreckage match.
Okay. That whole Wreckage match was really, really fun. Because we had so many different people kind of just pop in there. Like, I remember there was like the sound tech. I think somebody, they picked up the sound tech and just like chunked him straight over the ring. And we're like, oh man, like, don't drop him. And I think that is going to be. I think this is like the ripped pants match or ripped pants show, because if you notice, WrestleRef in the beginning, he's got tape all over his shorts, and somehow he ripped them before the show even started. He ripped them on the way over here, on the ride over here. How does that happen? And then so finally, I think Chris Broken lent him a pair of his pants, and he had to find a way to kind of keep him up. And then Dr. Dark, after his elimination, like, you know, his pants shred. He comes backstage holding them together. He's like, okay, I think thank goodness I have a pair of pants I can change into. We're like, okay, now I'm getting kind of worried now, because I'm like, even though the jeans I wear are like stretchy, I just had a bad feeling they were gonna rip, and thankfully they didn't.
Celebrating the individuality.
Yeah, that was a joke video that it was part of the recruitment. You know, it's like, you know, we all, you know, do what we do in the ring, but at the same time, you know, we're all normal people, you know, in our everyday lives, and that video really showcases what we do in our off time.
Okay, so did you ever expect to see IWF expand as much as it has?
I did expect the expansion, but I didn't think it would happen all over the course of a single year. You know, we were doing shows at a bar that wouldn't advertise us. And here we are working with haunted houses, children's organizations, you know, with the canned food drive. There was a lot of exposure that we got, and I always believed the exposure would happen, but I didn't think it would happen so fast. We even went to indoor venues. I didn't, we expected it to happen, we hoped it happened, and sure enough, it did. And here's a little, I wish I had the fortune cookie thing on me, but I know there's a picture of it somewhere, but I was eating somewhere, and I grabbed a fortune cookie, and it said, "The project you're working on will soon expand." And sure enough, I think that's the one time a fortune cookie ever came true.
All right, now where do you see the IWF going, and within the next year or so?
In the next year or so, I actually see us, doing more paid gigs. Gigs where, we don't break even. We actually make a profit enough to where we can say, hey, after covering the cost of everything and breaking even, here's $5 for you, $5 for you, $5 for you, $5 for you. That's where I see it going soon.
A lot of debuts happen. Where do you see each one of them going?
Let's see. Wow. I mean, a lot of guys are, a lot of them really have great potential. They could very well be, title contenders. You know, a lot of them bring something different to the table, and it just makes for more of an entertaining show. You know, everybody's got their own look, everybody's got their own skill set, everybody's got their own. I already said look, but everybody's got something unique to them, and you know, over time they can grow a fan base.
So it's like, wait a minute. Why isn't my debuting?
Because this is timeline 2017. You joined this year, 2018.
No, I joined last year in 2017. I joined in November of 2017.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
When? And you're just barely coming out now saying this? I put so much work into the slideshow, and you're going to tell me I goofed up?
I was waiting to see if there was in the end. I looked like, wait a minute.
You did not join 2017.
Yes, I did.
When in November?
In November, right after one of the matches, I walked up there and I talked to Marcos.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
That was like a month ago.
No, it wasn't. We didn't have a show a month ago.
Okay, fine. Though that was the last show we did. That was not in that was not in 2017. That was in January of this year.
No, it was not.
You're just trying to take over. You're just trying to take over my stuff again. This is just like the Mortal Kombat tournament. All right. This is just like that Mortal Kombat tournament, and I'm not even going to go into that. No, I'm not going to make you a slide just because you could probably. What are you going to? You're not going to do anything, are you?
Really?
Yeah, really.
I became your manager in 2017, November 2017.
No, you did
and
not.
you're not even going to give me any credit for that.
Because you didn't do it in 2017. It was
Yes,
2018.
I did.
You got to show me on camera where you are.
I will show you on camera where I am.
All right, fine. How did you get that slide in there?
Magic.
Magic. Oh, it was magic. You couldn't even get the right date on it. As I told you, it was the week after this year's Pinnacle.
Oh, shut up. Just ask the questions.
Okay. Even. At least you actually took the time to write some of these questions down. All right. I gotta ask all these?
Yep.
Okay. How did you join IWF? How did you discover IWF?
Well, it was during one of our gaming competitions. I saw you had the shirt on. Because that's when I recognized you. So I actually went out and saw Pinnacle Paint from this year. I wanted to see what it was all about. And then I saw him, it's like, hey, he could use something. So I started knew you from gaming. I went ahead and mentioned the whole being the manager part, and that's when I joined.
Okay, so you liked what you saw when you went out and saw Pinnacle?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what was your favorite match?
My favorite match?
Yeah.
It would have to be the one for the title belt.
Oh, okay, the title match. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I can't even read your writing.
Shut up. It's not that bad.
Kind of is.
No, it is not.
Okay, but do you have to? Did you actually go out and pitch the word manager? I mean, a manager makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing half the time.
Because you don't know what you're doing half the time.
Couldn't you use something like better, like strategic analyst?
Yeah, because I'm a strategic analyst.
Yeah, you could have just said strategic analyst instead of saying, hey, this guy needs a manager.
Nah, that sounds better.
All right, next question. Do you see yourself... seriously, I can't read your writing.
It's not that bad.
Okay. What would you like to do in the IWF other than being the strategic analyst for Mr. Bender?
One day I will step into the rink and I'll show them that a girl can do just as much what the guys can.
Okay. Any particular opponents you have in mind?
And Dante Inferno, he keeps calling me out. So I'm actually gonna see how that would work out.
I kind of have the same hatred towards him. Anyway, what else you got written down here? Bonder, you misspelled my name.
That is not a O. That is an A. That's an E.
You interrupt me when I'm playing video games at a cafe. You hijack my video. You give me these terrible production notes, and now you're. You know what? I'm not even gonna go into that. If I could read your writing, I'm gonna do this next question. All right, next question is. I said I still can't read your writing. If you could magically insert a slide in here, you could magically fix your handwriting. I swear, I gotta give you those like little booklets they give to first graders that improve their handwriting. I gotta get you one of those. You know, maybe instead of buying the next Assassin's Creed game, you should invest in some of those handwriting booklets. What do you see yourself doing at the next show?
At the next show,
Yes.
mainly just giving you tips on how to be whoever your opponent may be.
Fair enough. Now, do you see the same kind of expansion that I see going with the IWF going forward?
Definitely, after watching most of the videos and seeing how it was at the beginning of last year and how much it has grown, everything that has been done, I can see it expanding a lot this year.
Great. Now, can we switch spots so we can end the video?
Yeah.
Okay.